Yo, yo. Boom, 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 boom. All right, man. We back. Another episode of the JOAT podcast. And we've been getting questions. I've been getting questions a lot lately since we started dropping all this hot content. Everybody been like, who is P? Who is the godson?
Really?
I had somebody walk up on me, talking to me, and he was like, who is this Negro here?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember that part. I felt some type of way, too.
Who is this dude posting all y'all stuff? Who is this dude y'all got tagged in all the stuff, man? So, the first two episodes, he wasn't able to make it. But, man, we got Cousin P in the building. This is both of our cousins. He's a part of the JOAT podcast.
Yes, sir.
Cousin P, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm P. I'm Cousin P, you know. Vine Street, you know. Mitchellville, Arkansas.
Hillside baby.
For sure.
Nice. So what y'all been up to, man?
Same old, man. Trying to keep my head above water. You know, trying to learn as much as I can with different avenues. You know what I'm saying? You know? But
Nice. What about you, Lo?
Man, I've been really keeping my eyes on this housing market, which you know is crazy and volatile right now.
Yeah.
So,
What about stocks? Y'all been fooling around with stocks lately?
man,
I know people been saying like the
I ain't
stocks.
getting the stocks, but shit, I've been dibbling and dabbling in the whole Bitcoin game. Just trying to make that come up on there. So that's volatile too, though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been soaking up as much knowledge as I can, but I ain't got my feet wet because I've been hearing things and I see things and it's up and it's down and it's this and it's that. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have got on Dogecoin.
You can lose your money, like you can lose all your money in 3 hours, bro.
In a matter of 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, man, just trying to stay out the way, man. Just trying to run it up, man. Just trying to run it up so when it do come a time to jump on something, you able. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So that's the thing about having your ducks in a row, being situated. So when you do want to move, you ain't got to wait on nothing.
Definitely.
Biggest thing. What you been on?
Man, I just got back from Kansas. Yep, Kansas. Hey.
Just took a trip to Kansas.
Kansas. I was in Kansas for a month. Spent a little time out there for some job training. Kansas wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I met some good people out there in Kansas. Yep. I really did. Met some good people, made some good contacts and everything. So a lot of people been asking also, like, how exactly we get our guests up on the show, you know?
Really?
Yeah. So because a lot of people been hitting me up and saying, yo, I want to be a part of this.
Man, they ain't trying to work, man. I don't want to hear this. Man, I ain't want to hear this shit, man. Ain't nobody trying to work, man. Ain't nobody trying to power with us.
Yeah, but the cool thing about us also and this platform is it also allows us to share, you know, our own history, you know, and how we know each other, you know. So all the time there won't be a guest up on here, but it'll still allow us to know I have certain relationships with Lo and I have certain relationships with you, P, you know, that we also be able to share through the JOAT podcast that'll be relatable, you know, somewhat relatable. And yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. But I got I got some things, you know, that I want to ask both of y'all, you know. I want to rewind, go back in time, and I want to discuss loss, you know. I want to go back and talk about loss. And for you, Lo, specifically June 3rd, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And for UP specifically, I want to discuss January 7th, 2009. You know, so for those of y'all that don't know, you know, that's the day that we lost my grandpa Eddie Lee, which is Stedman's grandfather also, and that's the day P lost his dad. You know, rest in peace to them. So when we talk about loss too, you know, loss is something that you know we really not taught to deal with within our community, but it's just something that we take and roll with it. We take the punches, you know, and everything. But for both of y'all, you know, I kind of seen both of y'all actually go through that. You know, at the time, me and Raquel was a little bit more closer than me and P was. You know, but me and Lo always, been in contact with each other. So just rewinding back to those, how did y'all deal with that? Losing a male role model in the family.
Oh, man, really? I I don't even know, man, because it didn't hit me until the funeral actually. So just taking a step back, walking through my day, like a week before my grandpa passed, like he knew he was fighting. He was fighting for months. He had cancer, so he didn't want to be in the hospital. He did around the chemo. It didn't kill it, and he just explained to me and like a lot of other close family like he wasn't doing it no more. So he was just gonna ride it out.
Yeah.
So he set up hospice at his house. He was on oxygen. He was comfortable, but for a while, and then it started taking a turn for the worse. And my grandpa, he was always financially responsible. Old school cat, really never did credit. Always paid his bills. I believe he died with over 800 credit score.
And had nice stuff.
Yeah, like
really
always nice stuff. So he was always taking care of stuff. So one of the things he did, a week before he passed, almost exactly a week before he passed, he called me. He was just like, "Come home," and I knew what that meant. So me and my cousin Chewy, like we were in Fayetteville, we loaded up, we went home. And like all the grandkids, everybody that could make it, like came to the house and just like spent the day with him. I spent the night with him. He was just talking and just, telling me what he expected from me and what things I need to do and take care of and what stuff I need to tighten up on, stuff he was proud of me for, and stuff like that. And I took it all in, but I didn't realize that just what he was feeling in pain.
Yeah.
He was feeling in pain. So, but I just saw him. He was there laying in his bed and just talking to me. We sit and talked about 2 hours, and but I'm like, Pops, you gonna be all right. You good or whatever. So, June 3rd, it was a Thursday, I believe. My birthday is June 4th. So, I was working. I had just started a new job. I was there maybe 2 weeks. I was in orientation still, and I get a text message from one of my boys, which I don't even know how he knew. He was just like, "Sorry for your loss." And no, I don't know if it was sorry for your loss. He was like, "Sorry to hear about what happened, bro. Holler at me if you good." With the whoop. And I didn't think about it. I'm sitting up in class. I'm in the training room in orientation. Looking at slideshows and stuff and like that. And then like my phone just started blowing up. Boom. I get a call, and then my dad called me twice. So I stepped out, went to the bathroom, returned his call, and he told me, he was like, "Yeah, man, your grandpa passed," or whatever. And the crazy thing is, I told you he was always financially responsible. He was waiting on his Social Security check to pay his truck note. Yeah. And my dad went and picked up his check. His check came in on the 3rd. He went and picked up his Social Security check, took it to the bank, paid his truck note, and he came back and my grandpa had passed. So he called and let me know my grandpa had passed, and I didn't even cry until I actually had to say it. I was just like, okay, I understand. And at this time I was it 24, turning 25.
Oh yeah.
So I went back into the orientation room. I sat down, finished the meeting. We everybody left for the meeting. I was telling my boss or manager or whatever, like, I don't think I could go back to work. And she was like, "What happened?" And I tried to tell her like my grandpa passed, and I broke down crying. And so with that, I soaked it up, got my face situated, got my stuff from my desk, went home, and I immediately just like went into like tough guy mode. I stopped answering phone calls. I went to the liquor store, got me a bottle, and I was just really chilling, just sipping for the day. You know what I'm saying? Just like running back memories of everything that I had with him and stuff like that, and everything was cool. And I just really like blocked it out. I didn't cry that the rest of the day. Set up arrangements for the funeral, and I went home the next weekend. Friday. I ain't talked to a lot of people about it. Like I really just like shut a lot of people out and just dealt with it. Yeah. And we went home. I went home, and I got there a little late for the wake, and everybody was already sitting there. So I sat at the back of the building, and we're just in there, just like taking it all in. They run the slideshows and stuff like that. He's sitting up there in the casket and everything, and it didn't start bothering me until like people started seeing it. People know how close my grandpa was like my dad. At the point, like me and my grandpa was closer than me and my dad because I lived with them from the time I was 6 to 16. Yeah. He really gave me a lot of the like tools and foundation on becoming a man, and so I was at the wake and people started coming up touching me, and you know saying you okay, it's gonna be all right, and that started to bother me. That was a trigger for me. That like it just started getting, it made me emotional. Yeah. So I left. I just left. I ain't say nothing to nobody. Went back out to the house, and I didn't realize how much I was affected again until like everybody, we was out at the house barbecuing, grilling. Everybody was chilling, and my pops pulled me to the side, and he was like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm alright." He was like, "No, look at me, son. Are you good?" And I literally just broke down crying. Like, literally broke down crying. Like, couldn't get a word out, snotting, and he pulled me, like, he wiped my face. He was like, "Did you go to the wake?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did you go talk to him?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Get in the truck. We finna," and this, I think this is like one of the most bonded moments me and my dad had ever. Like, he put me in the truck, and he's like, "We finna go back up here." And we went back up to the location where the wake was at, and he walked up to the door with me, and he said, "Go in there and talk to him. Go talk to your old man." And I went in there and walked up on the casket, actually seen him, actually touched him, actually like really had my peace with him.
Yeah, that
there
closure.
was nobody in there, just that closure, me and him. And after that, I hadn't. Well, I'll take that back. After that, I was good though. I was good, and my dad was explaining to me on the ride over here. He was like, "I lost my grandma around the same age you lost your grandpa." He was like, it hurt me hard, but he was like, "You gotta have that close. You gotta stand in front of him. You gotta get that up out of you." You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And the big thing is, he's like, "You gotta be strong for your grandma tomorrow, because then she gonna be your responsibility." You know what I'm saying? And at the funeral, I walked grandma in. She literally like almost passed out, because she didn't see the body from the time they took him out the house to the funeral. And I had to catch her and make sure she was straight. And I ain't cried since then. And I was good, but another thing is I just shut it out. I didn't really grieve about it after that. I really just tried not to think about it. I just kept moving. The next time it hit me, bro, I had moved to Dallas with Val. This was Grandpa died in 2015, so this was 2017. I had moved to Dallas with Val. I had worked at Topgolf, and at this point, like this was going on 2 years after he passed or whatever. I just started shutting everything out, and my wife being so like considering, knowing how much he mean to me, on his birthday, she bought a cake, and it was just like "Happy Birthday,
I remember
Grandpa."
that. Yeah.
And she showed it to me, and I just like completely like broke down again because I had just been shutting everything out.
Yeah. And
after that, I just realized that it was still an issue, and I just started to be more vocal about it. Just started talking about him and things, because I just tried to shut it out like it didn't happen. And at that point, I just started to celebrate him because my grandpa made a lot of great memories of people. He impacted a lot of people, so it's just like celebrating him and not being afraid to talk about him and stuff like that. That was my thing. Now is just doing that grieving, not being like just not closing it out. You actually gotta feel that. You gotta live in that.
Yeah.
Because inside yourself, you can bury a lot of like just hurt that'll come off on somebody else, and you know what I'm saying, if you ain't getting that out of you.
Yeah.
So that was my whole thing with it. That's how I got through my process.
And that's pretty unique that Pops actually, saw that,
Mm-hmm.
and took you back up there so you could get that closure. I think that's a great part of dealing with loss.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause a lot of times things happen so fast, we don't be able to process what actually happened and what's going on. So like what happens after that is what that coping mechanism ends up turning into. You know, a lot of people, like you said, you went to the liquor store and you turned to the bottle. You know, so
Yeah, and I really tried to play it off. I was just like, like he died a day before my birthday, which that I think that's a sign too. It's just something I don't know what, but I was like, I just rubbed it off. I was like, I'm just gonna drink, I'm gonna kick it, I'm gonna turn up. You know what I'm saying? It's 25. It's a big birthday for me. It's like a milestone year. Yeah. So I just like tried to hide it in that, and I really didn't think about it again till the next weekend.
Yeah, and that was the first like immediate vicinity.
That's the first person that is close to me that had passed ever since Big Mama. But I was so young when Big Mama passed, like 7, 8, that I didn't even really know what it was, what it meant. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, I know, and of course, like like me and you, we talk. You know, we talk all the time, whether it's text, picking up the phone and everything. Mm-hmm. But there was like a moment where, like I didn't hear from you.
Yeah.
But I knew at the same time, like personally, I didn't know how to deal with loss. And we were young. 20, 24, 25 years old. So I couldn't say that. I feel what you're going through. I know where you at mentally, but I knew, that had like some weight up on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what about you, P?
Man. Shit, 2009, bro. When my pops died, that shit taught me a lot about hindsight, My pops was very disciplined. So a lot of shit growing up, like as far as expressing yourself, expressing your feelings, stuff like that, he made me push it out. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, for instance, something went on in the household. He'll come in my room and ask me questions like he was a psychology major. You see what I'm saying? So he studied the way people's mind work and things like that. So certain questions that he asks, he's setting you up for 2 or 3 more following questions. So that really taught me how to like be honest and think ahead. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't understand like why he was like, I'm like, it's not that fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of shit he was telling me, but he used to always tell me like, I ain't always gonna be here. I can't hold your hand. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like hindsight looking at it, I feel like, damn, at some point he must like knew at some point like it was some other shit. I don't know though. You feel me? But I remember getting into it with my mom because when I found out that he had a condition that he had, a lung condition, narcolepsy, some shit like that. The same shit Bernie Mac had.
Like, it's not leukemia?
Hell nah. It's some type of lung condition. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but Bernie Mac had it. Okay. And he had it for a while. And as a young kid, like you ain't really like, young teenager, you ain't really like, you don't see him go to the hospital, you don't see him going to the doctor fucked up. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, but gradually, like I used to start like we could be just chilling, talking, and I can hear him his breath, like, you know what I'm saying, breaking up a sound like, damn, nigga, you ain't been running or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shortness of breath. Yeah. So I really wasn't like, it really wasn't like hidden like inside like. He really must be going through something, but I was pissed off because it took a while before my mom actually before I found out the condition he had. You see what I'm saying? So fast forward to this is 2008 December end, and we had a talk, and I'm trying to get Raquel to go down to Crossy to celebrate. We're going out for New Year's. My best friend Clarice. We're going down there kicking for New Year's. And he didn't like that because of Raquel, because he was real protective of Raquel, you know what I'm saying, type shit. So
we were seniors in high school then.
Yeah. So we had a long ass talk or whatever, and we went. But while we was down there, I think it was Miss Fuller text me. And she was like, I think it was Miss Fuller, but he had like got sick, like a bad cold, and it was getting worse. So we ended up coming home. We come home, and they're admitting him in the hospital. Now, this whole time, he had a condition. He ain't never been hospitalized or nothing. So now it's like,
How old
that's
was
some odd shit. I was 21.
How old was your pops?
Oh, he was 51. No, 52, I believe. 52. I think. Yeah, because his birthday was January 26th. So it was like a Friday, and he got admitted, and he was in the hospital, and it wasn't until Sunday, I think, where they like said something about him being actually in the computer. So I was just, cause I kind of been a black sheep, like the rebel of the family for real. You know what I'm saying? So if shit don't make sense to me, then I'm gonna speak out on it. You know what I'm saying?
Questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just pissed off already, but it's like he just got pneumonia or whatever. So pneumonia. So I didn't think it was too serious like that. So he got admitted that Sunday. I think it was that Sunday. But so they said Sunday night is when we talked to the doctor, I believe. And the doctor was like, he got congestive heart failure, and they looking for we need to be looking for a heart or some shit like that. It might have been something else, but yeah, it was definitely congestive heart failure and shit.
So one thing led to another.
Yeah, one thing led to another. So that's when I had my first breakdown. Like, I dipped out, and as I was leaving, got in my car and shit, that's why I broke down. Like, this shit, what the fuck? How you go from having just pneumonia, you know what I'm saying, to needing a heart? Nigga, how the fuck we gonna get a damn heart? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm thinking, like, this shit don't, you feel me? So I broke down, but of course by myself and shit like that, you know what I mean? I broke down crying and shit, cause shit, I'm like, this shit crazy, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot to take in or whatever. So we had like rotating shifts being in the hospital with him. And I remember it might have been a day later or 2 days later. We had the day shift and my mama was doing like the night shift, whatever. So it was me and Chris. And so the last conversation that me and him had was cause this was in between semesters, and he was talking about me making sure we got that tuition taken care of before it's too late and all the late fees and stuff like that. That was our last conversation. So it was a lot of stress and like worry on me, you know what I mean? So my mama came, me and Chris Dip, we went straight to the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we got some quality house, cause shit, we young, broke college kids type shit. We got some quality, and we went and posted up with some chicks, and we was getting lit. You know what I'm saying? For real.
I know you was on that quality house.
Yeah, for sure. I ain't, you know. So we getting lit, right?
That rock good.
Nah, for real. We getting lit, bro, and next thing you know, Raquel called me. And I'm like, hey, I'll talk to her later, like, we kicking it right now, you know what I mean? And she called again, so that's when I was kind of like, yeah, it must be a emergency, so it must be something, you feel me? Man, I answered the phone, and it's our pastor. It's Reverend Cross, you know what I'm saying, which I pastor at Union Baptist. As soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, what? Like, that was, you know, I got good enough, I got sense, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, it can't be good. So I'm like, you know, hello, whatever. And he was like, come to the hospital. And I'm like, for what? What's going on? And he was just like, come to the hospital. He wouldn't really say nothing. I'm getting like mad again. Like, don't play with me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me what's going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was just like, son, come to the hospital, whatever. So me and Chris went to the hospital. As on the way, I remember telling him, like, bro, it's bad, bro. Whatever it is, it's bad. I don't want to say nothing, you know, but it ain't good. You know what I mean? I ain't want to say it, but I kind of felt it in my heart. You know, so got to the hospital. I'm going to his room. So I'm on whatever floor it was going down the room, and my cousin Antoine called me. You know what I'm saying? I answered the phone. He like, where you at? I'm going to the room. And I act like I ain't hear him, but he was like, "Don't go in there, he gone." I'm like, what? And hung the phone up. I heard him, but I lying to myself, you know what I'm saying? So I go in the room and it's done been cleaned out and shit. You know what I mean? And that fucked me up. So he called back. They was downstairs in the whatever the little room they be having in the hospitals, that bullshit, man. Went down there, and they was like, he gone or whatever. I just kind of lost it a little bit for 1 second. Like I started punching the wall. You know what I'm saying? I was mad as fuck and shit. You know, I didn't know what to do with my emotions, how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? I just know it was mad. I was already mad because of the whole situation with him being in the system. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of immediately felt like, man, y'all didn't do what y'all could. You know what I mean? Type shit like that or whatever. So my mama grabbed me like, boy, they gonna put you out. I don't care. I don't care about none of that right now. You know what I mean? So I walked out or whatever, and I finally got myself together and came back. So that's when everybody wanted to hug and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We was hugging then my mama, which was weird as fuck to me, bro. She made me, we went to view the body and shit, and while we in there, and she told me to kiss his forehead. I'm like, man, what? I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. You know what I'm saying? But I kissed the forehead because that didn't make no sense to me. Like, he ain't in there no more. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So, but man, I shut down. We left. We went to the crib, and I went in my room, bro. And I probably stayed in my room for about 2 days, bro. You know, hella texts and calls, but I ain't really want to talk to nobody. I ain't really want to see nobody. I ain't had no appetite. You know what I'm saying? So after about 2 days, you know, I finally start being around, excuse me, and eating or whatever. And I was kind of straight. Like I feel like I was kind of normal. Like I wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, crying and just hysterical all day, every day type shit like that or whatever. But so I was cool. And family started coming, of course, and you know, we had the funeral. It was straight, it was cool, it was beautiful and all that. But it was like really the after effects, bro. Cause me and my mama, our relationship was scarred because of it. Like, you know, of course she ain't never went through this before either. You know what I mean? But I just know how I feel. I'm not thinking about like what my mama going through. You know what I mean? She ended up staying with my aunt because the house was a part of his job. You know what I mean? So she had to look for a house, and while she was looking for a house, she went to stay with my aunt. But it was kind of crowded, so you know the universe just placed me in with Clarice, because Clarice had got an apartment. My best friend, man, I ended up staying with her for some months until my mama picked out whatever house, you know what I'm saying, she wanted. But as far as like growing up, bro, and dealing with it, it just was daily thing. It's a daily thing. I'm still dealing with it. You know, sometimes I just go by myself and just cry. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day. And but the good part is it's a lot of good memories. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good memories that I think about. And sometimes them tears is happiness because I cherish the moments. You know what I'm saying? I cherish the moments. Like, and when I talk about hindsight, I'm like, you know, I've always had my pops there all my life, so I didn't know what it was like to not. And looking at my peers, you know what I'm saying, to not have them, you know what I'm saying, that just like, damn, it just make you appreciate what it was still there. Like the little things, going fishing early in the morning, which I ain't even got no pages for fishing, nothing like that, but just to have that experience, you know what I'm saying, going horse riding, shit like that a lot of my peers didn't have. He prepared me for, you know, he made me read books and stuff, you know what I'm saying. He had me, he always told me life is 10% of what happened to you and 90% how you react to any situation. You know what I mean? That helped me a lot with going through it because I had to hurry up and I was 21, but I was still a boy. I still was a boy. You know what I mean? So when it comes to navigating through life, man, that I had to experience it and live through it and bump my head, and I bumped my head a lot. You know what I mean? I bumped my head a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm still dealing with it, bro. I just try to remember the good things about him because it was a lot, and I'm just happy that everything that he invested into me. You know what I'm saying? Just as a man, having morals, having principles, and things like that, man. It's just priceless. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that, like, when I do think about him not being here, it lifts me up. You know what I mean? And I'm at a point where I can talk about it, and you know what I'm saying. I ain't mourning and hurting. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about it. I don't mind. Just ain't nobody just really asks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely make me appreciate him being there all my life for real, and it's still to this day like shit. Like, damn, that nigga told me this shit. You know what I mean? But sometimes some things you have to bump your head and go through it to like for it to actual hit home, and you know. So yeah, man. That was 2009 to 2021. Shit, still dealing with it. I was just telling my partner the other day because he lost his dad last year, and we was sitting outside the club. He was like, man, I know you lost your pops, man. Like, shit, man, what you do? How you get through it? I said, bro, just don't hold that shit in, bro. Go off to yourself. Just cry, bro. Just let that shit out. And, you know, just always hold on to the good memories. Hold on to it. Cause we not supposed to be here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be here forever. Right. You feel me? So, and if he wouldn't want to be here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people be like, I'll do anything to bring him back. That nigga don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't want to be back here, this shit. You feel me? So yeah, I told him, like, just don't focus on trying to get over it. You just gotta experience it, get through it every day. You gotta get through it to get over it. You know what I mean? So you gotta go through it to get over it, get through it. You know what I mean? So whatever you feel, man, just feel it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and shit, I had to learn that myself because I ain't really see my dad be emotional. That's one thing I ain't never really seen him do. And shit, my mom either.
But your dad touched a lot of people's lives, though. Yeah. And it's a lot of people. I remember a story you was telling me about. I think you pulled up to a gas station or somewhere, or you was somewhere, and a guy asked you who your dad was. Mm-hmm. And he told you, like, you know, your dad helped him out while he was doing time.
Yeah. I have stories. Yeah. I get that all the time, bro. And me being a knucklehead, being rebellious, I done been in a lot of places where, you know, ex-cons and people that's probably on their way going, you know what I'm saying, is there. And it's been so many situations where, you know, we might have a conversation, but it ain't never been a bad situation, none that nobody's had any animosity towards my pops, because he always been 100. He always, you know, wanted to actually rehabilitate people. Like Rod hit me up, Rod Trotter.
Oh, okay.
He hit me up. You know what I'm saying? He was like, my daddy called him in this office one day, and he told him that, you know, most people that's there, they deserve to be there. And he told him that he didn't deserve to be, he wasn't supposed to, this place that he was at wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? He just, you know, gave him some expectations, you know, to get himself together and not come back, you know what I mean? Because he saw something different in him. Yeah, Rod told me that, you know what I mean? And like, off the strength of that too, like, he fooled me real tough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's another thing my dad always told me too, like, you know, be upright and, you know, good standing with everybody that you come in contact with, because it matters. And because he was like that, I have those situations, you know what I'm saying? And it could have easily been shit, you know, let's do something to him, or let's be on some other shit with him, because of what I had to experience when I was locked up type shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I hear stories like that all the time when I see guys, you know, either they recognize me or I look like my pop, so they'll ask questions. You know what I mean? It's always
a question real quick. So
you take that hat off, boy. You look good like your dad.
What's one of the biggest things, or like one of the biggest quotes that always stick with you, Joe?
Because your daddy was an educated man.
Yeah. What I was saying, the life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react. you know, because you always gonna have issues, you always gonna have problems, you know what I mean? So in a nutshell, he was just basically telling me that, you know, like, you know how I be on the spiritual and manifestation tip and things like that. In a nutshell, without saying it, that's what he was saying, you know what I mean? Because on this earth, you know what I mean, it's always gonna be obstacles. But training your mind to not dwell on the obstacle, but to focus on solutions and work towards solutions, and, you know what I mean? Then, you know, it ain't gonna be, because, you know, trouble don't last always, you know what I'm saying? Bad times don't last always. Pain don't last always, you know what I mean? So to know that, then when things like that happen, then, you know, you will be better off and you will be in a better mental state when things do happen, you know what I mean? So that's what I've been practicing, man, because I done been through so many ups and downs. I done took so many L's, you know what I mean? And and that's what get me through it, knowing like, man, I gotta be on this planet. Shit, what I'm gonna do? Die? Nah, if I ain't dead, then I gotta make some shake. I gotta, you know what I mean? And it's gonna happen. So, yeah, for sure. That is definitely the biggest goal.
What about you, Lo?
Hold on, I got another. Because I'm gonna get these two. What's your funniest memory, or like your funniest quote that you remember from your pop?
Funniest quote?
Or just a memory?
Man, bro, I got really like 3 for real. That's like side by side.
Yeah.
And the first one was we had went to California to visit my his brother, and
Your uncle that's in the military.
yeah, nah. Yeah, he was in him. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
And, man, I don't know, bro. We was out there vacating and stuff like that. And we got up one morning. I heard my mama like fussing at my daddy. Man, my dad had to cut his mustache off. He cut his mustache off, man.
Women be like being married. Women don't play about that facial hair.
Man, my mama sweet woman, but you know, it's certain things she don't really, you know, she gonna speak her mind about. I mean, it's with love, but she like, what is you thinking? You know what I mean? You know, like, what are you trying to be young again? You not, you know what I mean? And he looking so scary, bro. He looking scary with no hair.
Like a low, like
yeah, he did.
But your uncle didn't rock a mustache, did he? The one that was in the military.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Now I think about it. Yeah. So that was one. That was one. And, it was one time we was putting up the Christmas tree. And damn, it's now I think about it, they started coming into my head. We was putting up a Christmas tree, man, and I ain't hear him fall, but man, it was something bad. Me and Raquel looked at each other, you know what I'm saying?
He got a hold on them trains at Department of Corrections, didn't he?
Man, or something, I don't know. But you know, he act like it wasn't nothing going on. You know what I mean? And, you know, I ain't know how he was gonna take it, so I ain't say nothing. But
you was scared?
Yeah.
Can you claim it?
Yeah, we was scared. When we were cat, we was dying laughing. You know what I mean? Like, what y'all laughing at? Like, we look like, how you don't know what we laughing at? You know what I mean? And the other one, another one was, you know, he had his first time that I remember him cooking. He made some spaghetti, bro, and
it was good.
It was all right, but it was like, I don't know, he put like a pound of garlic. He chopped up some garlic or something. I don't know. It wasn't what it's supposed to be. But I mean, it was edible. You know what I mean? But it wasn't what it's supposed to be. And I don't know what possessed him to try to cook. You know, all these years. You know what I mean? You ain't never cooked for real.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I got one more though. He was the caretaker for my uncle that had passed. He was over his estate, so we used to go to Little Rock, and he had me to mow his yard and stuff. And you know, I mean, he always like took me to rallies. That was my favorite place to go. Yeah. In Little Rock back in the days and stuff. But this particular day, he didn't take me to rally. And I wasn't gonna say nothing, you know, or whatever. So, you know, we used to stay out there in the country.
Yeah.
So he waited till we got on that road right there, like 2 minutes from the house. And he asked me, was I hungry? You know,
Ain't nothing out there.
that pissed me. Exactly. So if I am hungry, I'm gonna eat whatever in the house when I get in the house. Don't ask me now. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't say nothing. You know what I mean? But I told my mama, and my mama got on his ass when he got in the house. You know what I'm saying? I had her baby out there mowing the yard in the hot sun. Ain't feed him.
No rallies.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You knew you wanted them rallies, right?
Man, I don't know what you thinking, man. For real. I don't know.
Hey, so y'all used to have trustees at the house and everything a lot. Mm-hmm. One I remember back in the Gap, we had came like to the house to like jump on a trampoline, play and everything. It was just for a little while, you know. But I think one of them named Mo or something like that.
Bro, it could possibly be. I don't know. It was so many like back and forth because you know my mama, she real picky. So if some she don't like, then you know we might not see him no more. So it could have been. It could have been.
I remembered him because Raquel was like this with him. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was like, man, this dude, he in a prison. What's going on over here, man?
Yeah. I was gonna say one of the quotes that lived with me that Grandpa gave me. I was he just started dropping a lot of gems on me like I'm 17, 18. Cause when I finally moved out when I was 16, it was literally right across the street. Wasn't even street, it was a yard.
We used to throw all them parties.
Yeah. So I was always over there. And one of the things he gave me is his quote is like, you can't depend on nobody but yourself. We were having a conversation and he was just like, Stedman, you becoming a man, you finna go off and go to college, you're gonna be by yourself. He was like, if you call me and I can have it, you know, whatever you ask for, it's my right to tell you I ain't got it for you, or I don't want to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, don't ever be looking for a handout because at any time, or don't ever put yourself in a position to ask for a handout because at any time, that person has the right to tell you no. No. And you can't feel no way about it because don't nobody owe you nothing. So the biggest thing he put on me is just independence, and that's a quote that always stick with me, is you can't depend on anybody but yourself because even me as your grandfather, I can tell you no.
That's real.
Do you think that like keep you from asking?
A lot of times I've been in a lot of positions where I've needed help or I had to ask for help. And me being prideful, because I've been working since I was 16. I hadn't had a lot of stints where I didn't have a job, but I just fucked money up. Mm-hmm. I just fucked money up. And it was a situation where I had missed a car payment and I was just like, I'm gonna fix it. And it just snowballed. But I was always like, I'm gonna get this check, I'm gonna take care of it. And then you miss out on something else. And then, you know, you chasing, you know, like you chasing your tail, you know what I'm saying? And so it had came a situation where it had snowballed and I had hit my pops up and I was just like, I need some help, whoop the whoop. And he was like, what you need? And I was like, this is what I need. He was like, damn, nigga. Like, you could have told me this like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I didn't just move some money with the whoop. And that's something I grabbed from my pops though, is what my grandpa told me, you can't depend on nobody but yourself. Mm-hmm. But my dad told me, which is true too, which I've had to tell people or, you know, that's asked me for help, but I don't know you hurting if you don't tell me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That kind of put you in a tough situation too.
But that wasn't being my dad. Was just like, nigga, open up to me. Like, let me know if you fucked up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And see, I had that same shit, getting tickets, DUI, whatever's going on. Like, it's like,
and you ain't telling nobody. You just trying to handle it.
And they like, why this and that third? I'm like, well, I was kind of raised to handle. You know what I mean? So you never really told me the part where, at the same time, these situations are times where you need to ask, you need to. You know what I mean? Don't worry about you getting chewed out or.
You don't want to be embarrassed or you don't want to seem like you don't want to continually be that fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was one of the biggest things, just independence, and you can't depend on nobody but yourself. So I just try to live by that. Which there are times I need to just borrow some bread or whoop the whoop or move some money, and where you have to like just be humble and bite that bullet. And there's some times I've suffered because I ain't want to ask nobody for nothing. I just try to figure it out. But one of the funniest memories. Oh man, I was helping my grandpa wash his truck. He was sitting out there talking to me. He was like, "Stedman, you finna go off to college. You finna be one of the first men to go to college." He was like, "Me, I ain't never getting no opportunity like that." He said, "So you get on that campus, you get all the pussy you can get."
Damn, that was it.
I swear, he said, he said, if that was me, I wouldn't turn down none but my collar.
Oh Lord. I hate for my dad tell me that. Did y'all have the birds and the bees?
Man, nah, but look,
I ain't had it either.
so that was my grandpa's story. He just wanted me to live and have fun. And then look at this picture. This is my grandma. This is my grandpa. I went down there to have dinner with him. I'm like 21 at this
Is that
time.
her responding to?
Yeah, that's what he said. So he said some bullshit.
Damn. She like, nigga, what?
So my grandma went home. I was in college. I went home for a weekend.
You put that in the camera, man.
And grandma had cooked some. It looked like some greens and some beans and cornbread. And me with grandma and my grandpa sitting at the table eating or whatever. We just catching up and you know how you doing or whatever. And grandma, I had to be like 20, about to turn 21. And grandma was just like, "Stedman, you ain't found you a woman and all this, and you know, and don't be out here, you know, being a hoe and being managed and all this." And my grandpa looked at her and said, "Stedman a playboy, just like me." And so that's what that picture was. And she was like, "He ain't no playboy, he a good man and all this time." But that was man, my grandpa just he wanted me to be responsible and have as much responsible fun as I can, man. And that's one of the biggest things I always take away, man.
Yeah, Jay.
Independence and have fun responsibly.
You been younger than me. You know what I'm saying? You always seemed like you was always like the most responsible person, financially responsible. Just you know what I mean?
This the shit. I'm gonna tell you what. Just piggybacking off what you said.
Where did you get that from,
bro? Hold on. You remember my senior year? Is everything good with that?
Yeah, keep
yeah, but you remember my senior year, and I had a cousin that worked at the liquor store, and so I was out like my family drinkers, so my thing used to be 1 or 2 black gin, and so I used to always have liquor. You know what I'm saying? Because my cousin worked at the liquor store. I was 17, 18, pulling up to the liquor store, buying what I wanted, and so it was New Year's, my senior year. And I worked at Sonic. I had a job in Sonic, but all my homies gave me some bread, get their liquor, because we had a party, for New Year's. And, bro, I forgot my pops had the grown folks' New Year's party at his house. So, bro, I put all the liquor in the freezer, you know what I'm saying, letting it get cold while I was at work so I can get off and go kick it. I'm talking about I got fifths and half gallons and 6 packs of Seagrams, like the breeze, cool breeze, and all this crap. So I get
for the ladies.
I get back to the house and all my family there and like kicking it, and they like, "Oh, you think you grown, huh? You got to look I'm 17. You got to look in the freezer like you grown." Whoop the whoop and all this. And so Pops pulled me to the back. He was like, "I know you gonna drink regardless. Gonna do what you do." He was like, "Just get somebody responsible." He said, "Go pick up LJ."
I didn't drink.
Yeah, he didn't drink, so he told me, he said, "I'm gonna let you leave the house. I'm gonna let you drink. Go pick up LJ and make sure he dry you and bring you back."
Yeah.
So that was picking
right.
off you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But what's crazy is he made it. I don't know that particular situation, but he probably still can't pick me up
and drove.
And drove.
Damn sure did.
Yeah. That's typically how that always went.
But yeah, what would you say you got there from, just being so grounded and responsible and
man? So I would, and I don't want to go too deep off into this, But I would say alcohol was never really a fan. Like I was never really a fan of alcohol, and it's due to like some of the the situations and occurrences that happened. You know, where I was just like, nah, forget alcohol. You know, and I grew up in a house with smokers, so I didn't like smoke either. You know, so it was just one of those that I'm straight, I'm cool. You know. But as far as responsibility, and that has a lot to do with why I brought this up, because I always feel like the men in my life always taught me how to love, show love. The women was more tough love. You better get it how you live. You know, you better figure it out. You know, because my auntie, the boss, she it's tough love. You know, but the men actually show love. Like they showed you how to love, and that's part of like even from growing up when you and I was kids, though. Your dad, he'll come pick me up, you know, all the time, going to football practice or whatever it was, you know. So it was just like that love.
I had made a post, like, not to cut you off. I had made a post. I had offended some people too, but it was some true stuff in there because I was just like, Pops, he was like a father figure to a lot of people. I was thinking about this the other day because I forgot I was at one of your Pee Wee practices because my pops was your coach. Pee Wee football,
me?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was just stuff like that where like he tried to help a lot of people. But yeah, continue LJ with that. Just like the men in the family showing love because you like Grandpa Willie. Uncle P for
Uncle
sure.
Paul, Uncle Larry,
Uncle June. They were always, and they were never scared to be affectionate and tell you I love you, nephew, and stuff like that.
And the same with Uncle Tommy too.
Yeah,
he
Uncle Tommy will kiss you, hug you, kiss you on your forehead. I love you, like
So that's where like you know, and that has a lot to do with like with the responsibility aspect of it because. I know whenever we went out and stuff like that when I was younger, when we went out, you know, I was always the eyes and the ears. I wanted to see what was going on. If if it was a situation where we had to get down, you know, I always wanted to be straight, level headed, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much how, you know. But as you see now, I keep a cup half full.
So I'm a sipper, not a drinker.
Yeah.
What about finances though? Like that aspect of it.
Finances was definitely my grandpa, Willie B, and Uncle Paul. Man, I remember in the intro when I spoke about my grandfather, tradesman. You know, he moved out to Dallas, became a butcher. And came back to Arkansas, and he worked for Sunbeam, retired at Lear, you know. So he always was that. I remember back. I remember back when my grandfather was dating. He was dating a lady, and he would give her kids allowance, you know, and their allowance was like $10 a week. You know, it was two of them, so that's $20. But me, on the other hand, my allowance was $2. You know, and I always like never really like broke that down, you know. But I knew like if we go to the store or something like that, I wouldn't have to pay for it. Like he, you know, but it had to be reasonable. He wasn't a person that just throw it up there, you know. And when we got older, you know, I kind of asked him. I asked him about that. And he really didn't go into deep detail about it, you know. But he asked me, did I manage that $2? And yeah, I did. I remember one time I spent that $2 on a bag of candy, and I sat out in front of his house, and I sold the bags of candy.
Damn, that was y'all hustling.
I mean, that $2 into $7. You know, so that's just the financial aspect of it. And growing up without also part of that, you know.
Yeah, you never want to be back in that position and have your kids in that position, man. Because we have some days coming up, man. 4-5 kids sleeping on one bed.
Man. And that's and you know that has a lot to do with now, because just like with the three of us, you know, we won't never neither one of us will never let each other go without. You know, we'll find a way to make it happen. You know? But yeah, that's man, that's pretty much what it was. You know, but I'm so thankful for those times though, because if I was that kid that grew up with having so much and everything, like, I can't say that I'll be who I am today. You know?
I think a lot of people love, man. You see a lot of, I mean, some kids still have some, wealth, or like they raised middle class, where they don't really have to see struggle and stuff like that, and they still grounded and humble. But man, you see a lot of kids that are like spoon fed, and just us now being older, you see a lot of young dudes come up and knowing their parents and how they came up and stuff like that, and like you see them crash out or do crazy stuff. Like, bro, you ain't even gotta do that. But it's like I said, bro. I hate to sound like the old dude, but and a lot of this music, these people like trying to live a lot of this music, or thinking like, it's, bruh, you just got young guys out here crashing out that ain't gotta go that route, man. And that's one of the reasons, to tie back all in, that's one of the reasons we started this podcast, is just to get some game back, man, and just show different people different avenues of making money and being, self-sufficient and independent, and, because you ain't gotta do this stuff in the streets that you want to do, it that you see people doing on the raps or videos and stuff to make a good living for yourself, man. Yeah. You don't.
And what's really cool is that I'm looking, I'm so fortunate to have people older friends, cousins, adults, because I've always been more, more like hanging with the older crowd, hanging with the older people. But I've learned so much from others' mistakes, seeing them make their mistakes and sharing that with me, where I didn't have to, it's some things that I didn't have to go through, because I already seen, I know what happens right here if I do this, if I go down that avenue. So that's a part of it, and that ties back to what you just said too, bro. The reason why we started this platform. Because loss is something that, regardless, you're gonna have to deal with in life. Everybody is gonna have to deal with that.
Definitely.
But we have to start normalizing that it's okay to go through the motions and go through things and talk to people in this hey, I see what's going on, hey, let's sit down, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about
especially
this.
Young men, because we not really felt like it's welcome to express our emotions. You know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier, like my dad used to come in the room and make me talk, but at the same time I ain't really see him express no emotions. Like you was just saying, the guys in your family are the ones that showed a lot of love. Like my dad, he used to tell me that, but I can count on my hands how many times we didn't hug.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
My grandpa was like that.
But
he'd give you a handshake. Don't hug him as a boy.
Yeah.
Don't hug him.
So I'm grateful to have my mom, because she was real affectionate for me to have that balance. But like going forward, like say if I have a child, I'm going my nephew Tegan. I'm a kiss on him and hug on him, and cause that says a lot. You know what I mean? I know how good I feel when I hug him. So just things that you would look in your upbringing that you would change going forward. You know what I mean? And not to fault my dad or nothing. He, his dad probably was like that. You know
I think it's with everybody. Like ain't nobody perfect. And like as you becoming your own individual and like becoming parents or uncles and stuff like that, you're gonna take some of the bad out and you're gonna try to correct some of that stuff where you saw flaws at, and be a better version. You know what I'm saying? And I think even grandparents see that. Like parents, a lot of parents, like you hear their kids talking, and then they have grandkids, and you're like, my dad, or they was not like this. He's totally different as a dad than a grandpa and stuff like that. But they realize, and they grow older, and they realize they want to do things different and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all about growth and continual evolution.
Yeah, cause I tell my mama she think Tig is just like came down from heaven. Like she don't no type of discipline at all. When like, what is you talking about? You used to be, and then I can still can't cuss around mom. And I'm like, you used to cuss around my grandma all the time. I'm 34 years old. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but I'm still a baby to her. You feel me? You know, so
You still a baby to your mama?
yeah, like not an adult when it comes to me cussing and certain things I say. You know what I mean? She still pull your pants up. I ain't even sagging, and she's pull your pants up.
Where your belt
You
is.
know.
Why she be telling you to say all that on Facebook, and you don't, and she don't just type it on her status?
It's like she my LLC. If I say she said it, who gonna go to my mama and say something? You know what I'm saying? Hey. Yeah. So mama said that. So
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty interesting, and I'm glad that we actually have this platform where we can discuss those things and just bring it to attention, because there's always somebody out here that's going through the same thing that like you two are going through or have went through, and still dealing with it. You know? So it's very imperative that when we're going through these things, we seek adequate help. We talk about these
Adequate
things.
help, man. Feel it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Just open up. I know a lot of people feel like you can't open up to everybody, but man, I think everybody. Crazy thing, I was just talking to y'all about Play a Fly. You know what I'm saying? And he was explaining a breakdown on nobody needs nobody, and everybody thinks it's like a symbolism where you don't need nobody to get through nothing. He was like, no, everybody needs somebody. Nobody needs nobody.
Yeah.
So everybody needs somebody. And I mean, man, just I think everybody got a relationship, man. But just, you find somebody you can trust, you rock with, man. Just hey, man. I got a lot of people I call Julio, LJ, a couple other people, my LB Fat, bro. I just need your ear, man. I don't want no feed. Just let me talk. You know what I'm saying? Just give me 15, 20 minutes. Just let me rant. And just get it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with no judgment, I think everybody needs somebody they really trust, and there's like a safe haven for them. They can talk and just just be a sounding board for them. So yeah. Just love, loss, and laughter, man. Just grieve, try to get through it and just keep moving.
So, Pete, you said before that you knew when you were a kid that you were different. Like your mind used to work different and stuff like that. So, I know you also stated that when you was going through these things that like you kind of distanced yourself from people, and including your mom and everything. Mm-hmm. Have your mom and T ever met?
My mom and who?
T.
Yeah, she know T.
Yeah,
but they don't have a relationship.
Like a relationship.
Like, it ain't too many, because my mom was a teacher, so
yeah.
She know pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? She even if she didn't teach them directly, then just being at the school and certain things and then being from a street over. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, why we asked me that she?
Because T, like something when you if you can't get it out, T be knowing like what you going through and can say stuff, and can man, it's almost like she a apostle.
That's funny too, because like it's certain things that I felt more comfortable with my dad talking about. It was certain things I felt more comfortable with my mom. My dad was more serious, and my mama really she was really like, I could be more loose and talk trash with her, you know what I mean? But as far as like being serious on when it comes to development and stuff like that was my dad. So when he died, me and my mom, our relationship was terrible for a long time.
I remember.
You know what I mean? That. And a lot of my own shadow work and going through things by myself, it molded me to be able to be understanding to mend that relationship back to where it should be. Cause it took me sitting down with her, like just expressing my accountability, because It's telling her, you know, um, I don't got no resentment for anything that we done went through. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame nobody but myself for situations that I done been in. You know what I mean? That she done had to pull me through, you know, type of things like that or whatever. And now we got a great relationship. You know, I vent to her. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's random, but sometimes it's random with her too. We kind of go back and forth, you know, but it's kind of like on a just a human to human, not necessarily
like a parent or
yeah,
yeah.
And I feel a lot more comfortable expressing things to her, and I feel like whether she know it or not, like I'm kind of like counseling her at the same time. You know what I mean? Cause she was hard body. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never really seen my mama cry for real. You know what I'm saying? Or make it look like she was hurting or her feelings was hurt. You know what I'm saying? And when they are, I know it. You know what I'm saying? But the way she shows it is anger. You know what I mean? So like when I was in Virginia, it was times where, you know, we wasn't seeing eye to eye. And I've always been in my own world, in my own head. So I might not talk to you for a month or two, but ain't nothing changed how I feel about you. I just be in my own head doing what I gotta do. You know what I mean? But she might text me out the blue and be like, you know, I ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? When before I'm meet her with an argument. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't dead either. You know what I'm saying? But now looking at it and being understanding with her, it's like, okay, that just means she missed me. You know what I'm saying? So instead now I'll be like, Mom, I miss you too. I miss you too. I love you so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I just been caught up in my own head. I'm gonna do better with, you know, reaching out and just chopping up with you. Yeah. And she appreciate that a lot too. You know what I mean? Now, whatever.
There's a lot of things, like a lot of people in our age group and things like that. Everybody talking about, you know, effectively communicating with your spouse and stuff like that. I think you gotta effectively still communicate with your parents too.
Definitely,
especially men, because a lot of men don't have. I'm not the type of person. I can speak for myself, and I know just talking to a lot of dudes. You see more women. They like, I talk to my mom every day. I talk to my dad every day. Stuff like that. Man, it be 2-3 weeks I don't talk to my mom or my dad, you know. And then I pick up the phone, and when I do talk to them, it's 3-4 minute conversation, just checking in, making sure they good, they make sure I'm good, you know. Or sometimes it's long conversation depending on what they got going on, you know. But I've been doing better. Just try to tap in every week and stuff like that, because I mean, people are always getting older, people are always going through their own things, and you just want to make sure everybody good. But I think that's another thing. Not only your spouse that you with, or you know, your significant other, but you got to effectively communicate with your parents too, and your siblings too. That's another big thing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Another thing is when it comes to that communication thing, and like spewing out your emotions with people's reactions, because you can't dictate how somebody feel about what you said, something you said. You know what I mean? And you can't expect people to love you or do the same thing in the same manner that you do.
You can't expect you from somebody else. Yeah,
you can't. So it's like one of those things where if that's how you truly feel, just do it and just do it with the intentions of what you're doing it for, and not expecting. Cause I had to learn it the hard way. Well, I ain't gonna say necessarily the hard way, but
expecting like
it's like, damn, I do this, that, and the third. I don't trip about this, that, and the third. But why would you raise that concern or raise that issue up? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like hypocritical or contradicting. You know what I mean? In certain situations. So let's say for instance, your birthday come up, right? And you tell us you having a birthday party, you having to get together, and I don't come or something, and then next thing you know, you might not know if I had a situation or not. Right, you know what I mean? But my birthday come around and you don't come just because I didn't come to yours. You know what I mean?
I didn't have that. You know what? I had the situation happen on my birthday. I had barbecue, and I had invited some, you know, just some. I ain't got a big circle. So some people I fool with, I invite them over. You know, I grilling is my thing, so I cooked a couple slabs, chicken, you know, and I invited my people over. And one of my partners didn't show up or whatever. Nope, it was actually, I'm thinking about it every time. It was actually for my wedding last year. I invited one of my dogs. He lived in Dallas. He didn't show up. which he lived in Dallas. I'm like, dog, you supposed to be there. And he actually called me like afterwards, and he was like, dog. And me, I felt some because I was kind of looking to see who I invited, who didn't show up, who could have showed up, stuff like that. You know, you just overanalyzing in your head. And he called me, and he was just transparent. He was like, dog, I know I ain't come. I apologize. I still got y'all a gift. But he was like, this like around the same time my pops passed. Oh. And so, you know, that's just, he's like, that time I just get to grieving and it be heavy on me. And he was like, you know. And so, but that's another thing because I know how I feel like when it comes around town for my grandpa's birthday, or like, you know, the day he passed. I kind of get in the feeling. So I was like, I understand, but I appreciate you for telling me that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Now you know.
A key principle with that is intention.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The
intention,
people that you know, that you fool with, that you love, it's everything not always gonna go smooth. Everything not always gonna be perfect. But if you know their attention in the right place, he intentionally let you know that. You know what I mean? This is why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that make all the difference in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
So in closing, like how would in y'all own words, how would y'all connect with someone that's actually grieving or going through a loss? Like what would you tell them personally?
If they reach out, or if you just feel like you need to reach out.
What if you just see it? You know, it could be via
Depends on
social
your
media.
relationship with 'em.
It could be personal, interpersonal, intrapersonal.
It honestly depends on who it is and what type of relationship I have with them. And not saying that's the right way to go about it, but if I feel like they know what type of person I am, then I'll just reach out and like, if you ever needed to vent or to go out, do anything, you know, to talk, and I'm here, and I'll let it go at that. But I just know me, when I was going through it, I ain't really want to talk to nobody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just grieving. Like, it's like, especially like you wasn't in my household growing up, so you can't relate to the pain and the grief that I'm feeling right now. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like just me sitting in it. Just like when I told my partner, when he asked me, man, just sit in it and remember the good things and just, you know, just go through it. It ain't no right or no wrong way to go through it, but just don't try to bottle all up in, because, you know, you might go through emotions. You might go out and filter it with liquor. I did a lot of liquor filtering.
It was my weekend, my birthday weekend, so I got to kind of hide it and just get drunk.
Because I want to get my mind off of it. In the midst of kicking it, you're not thinking about, you know, the loss or whatever. But, yeah, the best thing for people is to be left alone, I think. But it's kind of gray area because go cry, nigga. Go cry. Yeah. You know what I mean? Definitely go cry. You need to let that out, man. You need to grieve. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even I cry when I think about a lot of good stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, just definitely get your cry out. I do. I prefer to do it alone. You know what I mean? But I'm getting to the point where if I feel some emotions, I'll let them fall. You know what I mean? Like in a movie. Movies be touching me sometime, bro. You know,
bro. The older I done got soft. Like stuff on TV. Like I used to laugh at my wife about seeing stuff, like watching stuff and crying and stuff. But the older I got, like I done teared up.
I'm at the point where I'm you know, to the point where, you know, you gotta love me for me. You know what I mean? If I'm a pussy because I'm sitting up here and crying, then, you know, you a reflection of me. So you a pussy too then, because I'm gonna let it out. Yeah. Cause remember the Titans get me every time. I forgot we was close.
But no, I was just for me, man. It sounds crazy, but like people saying, sometimes you just gotta give people space, you know, and leave people alone. Cause like I said, when I was in the wake, you know what I'm saying, it kept messing with me. That people kept touching me or talking to me and say, "Hey, I'm sorry for you." Like that was a trigger for me. So it depends on the relationship I got with the person. If somebody is going through something like that, sometimes I know I can just be blunt and approach them and just give them, you know, how I'm feeling, or try to either grieve with them or like just try to talk them through it or be an ear for them. Sometimes you just gotta let people like kind of work it out on their own, and you know then be the helping hand if they ask for help. One of the things is like a part of the grieving process of just dealing with loss is not being afraid to talk about it. Like I said, sometimes I sit by myself and like I still got a couple voicemails from my grandpa. Like I'll plug in my iPhone.
Really?
3.
I wish I did.
I still got I plug in my iPhone 3. Like I bought a charger just for it. Like and just listen to the voicemail sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes I call up a couple of my cousins and just be like, man, you know, I'm thinking about grandpa, and we'll get to sharing stories and stuff like that. Like I done called Chewy, I done, you know, hollered at my sister Shay or stuff like that. And it's like just, you know, like hold on to it, you know, don't never let that memory die. But that's the process of grieving too. I don't think you can put a time limit on it, man.
You can't, and I'm content with whatever it's gonna be. I don't think as long as I'm here, it'll ever be, you know, a time where I don't.
It's gonna always be a void.
Yeah. It's always gonna be a void.
So I didn't ask this though. So for like y'all have younger cousins, you know, nieces, nephews. What's the reconnect? Not the reconnect, but what's the how do you let them know who that person was that you lost? You know, in this situation, it's your dad and it's your grandfather.
What you mean by let them know?
Like, you know, sharing with them the stories, you know, like because
like your nephew never got to be around your grandpa.
Oh well, he too young for us to talk about it. But as far as my cousins, I don't. We ain't never really had no conversations like that for real that I can remember. Unless it's like around the holidays or something, they might say Uncle Rick did this or Uncle Rick said that. You know what I mean? But just having like a conversation about him, man. And then my dad's a crazy too. He was born January 26th, so a lot of people like how I feel about myself. Unless we have a certain conversation, they'll never know. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people that's close to me like don't know a lot of shit about, you know, how I am in a lot of ways. You know, how my mind works and how I feel about, you know, certain things. You know what I mean? Cause like we just be in the world of our own, and we show certain things to show certain people. You know what I mean? So it have to be a certain situation that happen for you to see some things. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, because like my cousins, most of the time, you know, if it was holidays, those are the times where they remember something about my daddy for real, unless they was spent the night at the house, you know what I'm saying? But when you kids, because, you know, I was 21, I was barely adult, you know what I mean? Yeah. So your main memories was kids when you spent the night over the house, or I got my, this lady down the street from my grandma's crib, I had broke into me and Antoine, my cousin Antoine and Brittany. When Kale didn't go, we broke into their woman's house. We wasn't on no burglary type of stuff, but we were just exploring for real, because it wasn't nothing in there. But she ended up coming, and she went and told mama, and we got, you know, beat down. That was my first and only whipping with an extension cord.
I ain't never got that.
And,
I'm glad I did.
Yeah, my cousin had to stop my mama, man. She had to stop. She had to get up off me for real. I ain't lying. I ain't bullshit.
Crazy with that.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, for real. You know.
Did you break in another house since then?
Hell no, sir. Definitely didn't. But that's another thing I be telling when I have talks with people, and people hate this too because I don't got kids. Yeah. So they be feeling like my opinion, you know what I mean? But I'm very observant, and I connect with children. You know what I mean? I'm very observant with them. You know what I mean? And one thing that I'm against is like say when I have mine, or when I see other people like punishing them or disciplining them in anger, that's not doing nothing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So?
And my mom, the few times she did with me, it was in her anger. And she'll just hit me whenever. She'll hit me wherever.
My mom still got an explosive personality, and she was like.
But my dad, he always hit me right on my ass, and it was a few times hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was more of a conversation and learning a lesson, and this is why this, that, and the third type of situation. Every time it was never just you just mad and going crazy. You know what I mean? Not to take nothing away from my mom,
discipline versus like
beating, abuse.
Yeah, discipline and abuse. It's just,
yeah.
I feel that. I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of parent I'm gonna be.
I believe a
Because
lot.
I still got mixed thoughts in my head on a bunch of different concepts.
I mean, you got a child, so what's your take on it?
I don't punish while I'm upset. And in fact, I can count on one hand how many times I've actually like whooped Lynn. Yeah.
See, my dad
Lynn
was like
been
that.
here
My dad
before,
was like
though.
a discipline and structure and stuff like that. And like, he's probably with me maybe 3-4 times my whole life. But like my last whooping I got was when I was like 10. I vividly remember. I was 10 years old. Back to school had just started. I was in Walmart embarrassing him and cutting up because he wouldn't buy me no color pencils. Everybody had color pencils. We got back to the house and he gave me a whooping. But after that, it was like I was like 13, 14. And it was like disrespect or embarrassing your family or something like that. You know, you out in the public. That's a big thing in our age.
Yeah.
Like you represent this name. You out in public
sir.
acting up, but like, and it wasn't a whooping. It's like I'm pull up on you, and you know I'm gonna physically handle you. Like I'm gonna punch you in the chest. Like it was stuff like that.
I remember my last whooping that I got from my daddy, and it's it's actually a funny story. I was going from 7th grade to 8th grade. It was like that summer.
You got whooped in 8th grade?
Nah, matter of fact, yeah, I did, bro.
You told me you weren't getting whoopings no more then.
I probably lied. I mean, it's probably was like I wasn't, but that particular time it was like no. Matter of fact, it might have been the summer between 8th and 8th grade. But it might have been that. But I was getting my adolescent ages and stuff like that, so I was staying with my grandma as much as I could. You know what I'm saying? Because I could do what I want. You know what I mean? And it was this particular weekend I was supposed to spend the night at my grandma's crib, and so you know, if I'm staying at my grandma's crib, I'm getting lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember it was me, Gabe, Trace Bell, Calvin.
In the Yukon.
Nah, I wasn't driving yet. No, I wasn't driving yet.
Oh, this is 8th grade.
Yeah, in between going the summer.
What y'all was drinking?
We was drinking ENJ, ENJ and like Mountain Dew or some shit like that or whatever. And we went to get the hubcap burgers first.
Oh yeah,
I remember the hubcap.
Yeah.
And then started drinking on the ENJ and the Mountain Dew or whatever. And next thing I know, either because my mom and they had a navigator then, and that was like kind of like when the LED lights like kind of first came out or whatever. So I'm in the back. I don't remember who car it was. It might have been Kel Briscoe's car. I don't know. But we was drinking and I seen them lights and I'm like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? They came to the park. I'm drunk though. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all was in Mitchellville Park?
Yeah. So I got in the car, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I was supposed to stay at grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? But I was trying to speak at least as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so my clothes at my grandma's house. So we pulled up at my grandma's house. My daddy told me to go in and get my clothes. So I went in there and get my clothes. And then I came back and got in the car. So on the way to the house, you know, my dad, like, he was soft spoken. He was like calm and cool, collected, kind of like out of time. So he was like, Pierre, what's that I smell, son? I'm playing stupid, you know what I'm saying? He was like, what's that I smell, son? You been drinking? It smell like alcohol. I'm like, nah, like, of course denying it, you know what I mean? Got to the house, and he stopped me in the kitchen. So I sat in the kitchen, and he just sitting there talking to me, you know what I'm saying? He trying to get the truth out of me. He ain't trying to just like, you know what I mean? He want me to tell him, you know what I mean? And my mama like off to the side just looking.
She getting hot.
I'm getting mad because I'm like, why you instigating? You know what I'm saying? Bro, next thing I know, I throw up.
Oh, man.
And it's shooting out like a movie. It's shooting out, you know what I'm saying? So he had to get back. And I remember hearing my mama like, look, Rick, he drunk. He drunk. Look at him, he drunk. She went upstairs, got Raquel. Raquel, look at him, look at him. Look at him, he drunk. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of them things where, you know what I'm saying, like he hit me like 2 times with the belt. We went in the little weight room, hit me like 2 times with the belt, and he could see it like, this ain't it. This nigga gone. This ain't it. And I remember it was a Saturday night, so the next day, you know, usually we'll go to church.
Go to church.
I ain't go to church. He left me in the bed, but when they came back home from church, you know, we had a big ass yard.
Yeah.
He told me to just start running till he say stop. You know, I ran track or whatever, so. You know, and I ran long distance, you know what I mean? So I ran around the yard all day pretty much, you know, till he told me to stop. And that was like really the punishment. I don't know what he was thinking though, cause that really, you know, it really wasn't too much. But I mean, having a hangover, it was rough. You know what I mean? But that was the last time he touched me like on some.
I had a couple. I told you like at the time. Well, my dad had called me and I was out playing or whatever, and he called. I was up in Midgeville. I was down at this is where I was at. You know, I had broke my knee and I was staying in Midgeville. I was going to therapy and stuff, so I had got my knees fixed and stuff. And I was down at Mojo house, Miss Phyllis' house.
Yeah.
And I guess he had called the house, and Grandma was like, "Your dad on the phone," and I was like, "I don't feel like talking. I'm finna go play."
Damn.
And he heard it, and I just left out the house. So he pulled up over Mojo at Miss Phyllis' house, and he was like, "Oh, you don't feel like talking?" And I'm 12, going on 13. He punched me in my chest, and I pretty much just fold on.
Yeah.
And so the next time I was like coming to adolescence, like 9th grade, like I was like, cause I used to be quiet, and then like I started being funny, getting personality, and showing my tail at school a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And Miss Shepherd saw my grandma in Walmart. It's like, let me tell you about Stedman. And that's another, like, you out in public, you know, you embarrassing the family. So grandma came home. I'm in 9th grade, and grandma tried to whoop me with a belt or whatever.
Didn't phase you.
I caught the belt
Oh.
or whatever. And she called my uncle. I got an uncle and 4 brothers.
He bucked up to me.
Bro, when I tell you I was fighting all weekend. Bro, my dad came, no questions. You grabbing belt? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tommy, Uncle Bruce, Uncle O didn't do nothing. Uncle O ain't. But yeah, like, and Grandpa just sitting on the couch like, you stupid. But that was,
grabbing no more.
that was one of the things. And then the last time we had a little situation, Dad tried to give me a curfew and whatever. So the senior year I'm playing football or whatever, and he was like, "You need to be home." Cause he was always. I had a cool dad. He had been through some stuff. You know, he's a man, got 4 brothers. You know, he's seen a lot of stuff. He know your every move before you make your move. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you need to be at the house at what did he say? It was like 11 o'clock. It was reasonable for, you know, I'm 17 years old. Ain't no reason for me to be out past
12.
Past 12 for sure. But yeah, he was like, you be home at 11 o'clock. And I'm thinking, I'm working, I got a car, I'm driving, you know what I'm saying? Mama paying my phone bill. You know, I just live here, dude. You know what I'm saying? And we butted heads a lot.
I just live.
Yeah, I just live with you, dude. Like, you know.
High school when I did the most bucking too.
Yeah, so it was one of those situations like I came in like, you know, because I was drinking at the time because Cuz worked at the liquor store. So I came in, you know, 1:30 on after football game drunk. And I'm like, dude, like we got a traveling football game. I don't get home to 10:30. You shower. I'm going back out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? What you talking about 11 o'clock? I got to see some honeys.
For real.
Kick it with the
For real.
but yeah, and so it was one of those situations. He was like, you ain't going to live by my rules. You ain't going to, that was the breaking point. So that was like the head. So, bro, you remember Pete Louis? No?
Who?
Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, yeah,
Piggly
yeah, yeah.
Wiggly.
Yeah,
He
Piggly
just had a chicken with the Hawaiian
Ooh,
rolls,
wait.
bro. And I'm laying in the bed talking on the phone, and he like, bro, you ate all the chicken? I swear this when it was over. He was like,
That's a lot of chicken too.
bro, he used
You
to
had
buy
like
like
8
8
pieces
pieces.
for $3.99.
He used to buy 8 pieces in a pack of Hawaiian rolls, and you straight for $6. You know what I'm saying?
real.
And so he was like, and I was working, so he was like, you ate all the chicken? And I was like, yeah. Or whatever. And he was like, you ain't gonna buy no more? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I get out of work, I ain't got nothing to eat. You just, you know, so he was like, get off the phone, let me talk to you. Cause I was on the phone, and I was like, I'll talk to you when I finish. Or whatever. And he was like, he came and grabbed the phone and hung it up. And so we tell this story different.
Yeah.
Cause I tell the story.
I think that's always gonna be that way though. Cause my mom be denying shit still to this day.
I
It's
tell
like,
the story.
nah.
I got up off the bed, you know what I'm saying, and he pushed me. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I stood up to him and he pushed me, and I fell back on the bed, jumped back up, and I caught him with a 2-piece.
What?
Yeah.
He fighting.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. And you remember the old house over there by, you know, across from grandma back then? So he grabbed me by my chest. He grabbed me by my chest and he dragged me down the hallway, throwing me against the wall.
Damn.
And he like pinned me up on the refrigerator. Like I'm looking at the front door. He pinned me up on the refrigerator. And he was like, you still trying to act stupid? Or whatever. And I was like, he was like, you good? And I tried to make a move on him again. And he just like grabbed me and just like, get your shit and get out. You know what I'm saying? He was like,
I got a terrible story. One too. I don't know if I need to tell it though.
But yeah, but I was just saying it was one of them it was just like one of them discipline things, or like my grandpa never really put his hands on. He was one. He gonna talk to you, stuff like that. But Dad was big on respect yourself, respect our family. You know, respect everybody in the community.
Well.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things, man. But yeah, I sure got He said I never gave him a 2-piece though. But I'm pretty sure I called him.
That sounds like a conversation when my daddy cussed my mom out. First time I ever heard him like get loud or cuss to her direction, you know. But to this day she act like she don't remember it.
But you remember him doing it?
Vividly. That same trip that we was going to California, because back then you ain't had no GPS or nothing like that.
You had to print them joints out.
He had the map. No, he had
the Atlas.
We still had the old van or whatever. So we didn't even have. I'm young. This is like 11 or something. So we was in California when he cut the mustache off. Yeah. It was that trip going there. So we in California, and you know California highways. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right on the edge of it.
So Mama co-pilot with the map. So he, you know what I'm saying, depending on her, like tell me, and she wasn't telling him fast enough, and he had said something. 2 minutes. That's one thing about it. My daddy was always cool, collected, but he had a short fuse. Like he don't repeat himself too many times. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he was so frustrated, man. She said something. He was like, "Kiss my ass." What?
And your mama don't remember.
She act like she don't remember that shit.
Okay, but remember.
This. What? Hell yeah, I'll call her when we get out. I'm gonna call her when we get out here. But the thing about it, bro, he's so calm, cool, collected. And like I said, I ain't never seen them like get in no real argument, no real fight. When they did, it was in the bedroom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I never, because you know how kids, you are trying to play the parents against each other. You know what I mean? And they never allowed it to happen. So it was so good, so much. I guess she just trained her mind to just put that like it never happened. But it happened. I'll never forget that shit. That shit was so funny. I wasn't laughing at the time, but yeah, that shit was funny. He definitely said that. He said, "Kiss my aunt." That might was the battery in her pack when she seen his mustache gone. She probably put a little extra on it.
She brewing on it.
Yeah. Cause that was the same trip. Mm-hmm.
She brewing on it though, brewing.
For sure.
What you got, Joe?
That's pretty much it. You know, and just to both of y'all, I want to thank y'all for sharing that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's with every situation you go through individually, there's something that somebody else can take away from it and learn from others' mistakes or others, you know, situations. So I want to thank both of y'all for sharing that, you know, and that's pretty much it. Take us out, Lo.
Man, well, this is another episode of the Joe Podcast. You know, like I said, we touched on love, loss, and laughter. You know, just going through the grieving process, dealing with that. Just knowing that, just be able to talk to somebody. Just sit in it. My thing is sit in it. Go through it to get through it, and don't be afraid of it, man. It's inevitable. But you're not the only one, and you shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed about, you know, living in your feelings. So wrap on the Joe Podcast. Appreciate y'all for joining us and sticking through it, man. We out.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share this when it's posted. That runs our views up.
Hit the bell.
Because a lot of people don't understand why you say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of things, it draws attraction, you know, and you know how the algorithm works. So we have to say that. Like, share, and subscribe if you fool with us. If you believe in the Lord. Like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Tradesmen.
Boom, boom, boom.